right here, you can see the same thing. I've done the same thing with the guitar loop here, only in this case, just to stretch the guitar loop even further, I've also copied it, well, duplicated it, duplicate track, and I've gone in and put some minor effects on this particular drum loop. The first one is plain. The second one has got a reverb on it and goes along with the first one later down in the track. The third one has distortion on it, just a real slight distortion. And the last one has a flanger with a slight reverb effect on it. So the idea behind this is that I did the whole loop right there, you can see it for each of those three, and then I started cutting pieces out and just putting it back in as it sounded nice to me. So you end up with, it's slightly repetitive because it wasn't a very long guitar loop, but what you get the effect of is that you've got a guitar player that's got that's playing a nice little hook for this song, and he's got some effects pedals that he's using, and he's playing the same hook, but he's using the pedals to change it up. And again, this is a simple trick you can use on any guitar or even bass loops or vocal loops for that matter, is that by duplicating them out and then spacing one that has an effect on it with ones that don't, and using different effects, you give the effect of having effects pedals. I hope that made sense. And again, here you can see where I've really just cut that bass loop up and put it in. And here's another good trick, is that at this stretch right here, you can see I've put in volume envelope, and also at the very beginning of the track, what I did here is that since there wasn't any vocals at that point, I went ahead and turned the volume up. That's important. On the bass and drums, because this is a drum loop right here, and I just went with a real simple drum loop, and this is also a bass loop right here. Now I've got that one, it's slightly under the original bass loop, because this one is more of a funky slap bass style. This is more of a generic, well, not generic, but old school finger walking type bass. And I've got them together because one, it is, once the track is playing, it's believable that they are actually from one person playing. But even if you don't hear it as one person playing, what you do get is a nice layered bass effect, which is really funky. And that this whole track is, it's supposed to be kind of a funk track. And then I've also got some a couple of real simple funky piano or keyboard type tracks in here, and then I've got the lyrics that I've just spaced through it as I felt like it, although I did actually record the lyrics to go with the song, so they fit sometimes. Damn, I'm over 20 minutes. I'm gonna have to cut this up bad now. Keep doing that. But okay. Is there anything else I can say about this particular one for the tips and tricks on cutting and pasting things? I don't think so. But as you can see, like right here, it's just different pieces of these tracks that I've gone through, and I've split them up and pasted them back in to create a bass line and a guitar hook that plays through the whole track, and I did that with just 2 loops. But by using those 2 loops, I created something unique. And you know, that's the name of the game. Is it's always nice to have more loops, but they can get expensive, especially if you just don't have the money to spend on them. Especially right now, with the economy the way it is, people losing jobs and stuff. For down the road, this is October of 2008, while we're in the midst of an economic crisis of sorts. So, yeah, and this is what the whole thing looks like. You can actually see the chopping a lot better through there. You can actually see that I've repeated parts of it, and then I just let the original loop ride to the end. You can use this with all kinds of different things. I mean, that's basically the idea behind the vocal loop library that I've got for sale on my site, acidheads.com. ACIDHEDZ.com. Acidheads. And it's the vocals loop library for $25. And it is worth it. It's over 600 loops of me growling, screeching, and being evil. But the whole point behind that library is basically what is the chop and paste thing. Only in this case, you don't have to chop anything up because the vocal bits are already chopped up. You just paste it together and you got lyrics. No harm, no foul, no work. Well, you have to put it together. You have to write it. But it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Yeah, I think that's. I'm done with this particular tips and tricks video right here. And I will see you later. Thanks for catching it. And don't forget to check out the other videos available, particularly the FX series that I'm going to get ready to put up after this video, in which I will go in depth on pretty much every one of the effects that I have available, the basic ones anyway. And peace. Later.